As chair of the ASEAN Summit for 2025, and for this May, Malaysia will be hosting the 46th ASEAN Summit, the second ASEAN-GCC Summit, and the ASEAN-GCC-China Summits. So you actually have 3 summits in this one meeting that we have. The summits will be from May 26 to May 27. And they will, of course, be discussing a broad range of topics. In particular, the ASEAN-China GCC Summit will look at strengthening economic cooperation. And all of these are along the lines of Malaysia's theme, which is inclusivity and sustainability. In the lead up to the summits, there will also be ministerial and senior officials meetings. This started on May 23 and they're ongoing now. At the sidelines of any summit, leaders take the opportunity to be able to have bilateral meetings with each other, as it's a platform where they're all in one place and they can have meetings. So that's what we'll be expecting in this next few days. The Philippines is of course one of the 5 founding members of ASEAN. As you know, in 1967, the Philippines, together with Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, established and launched ASEAN with the aim of, and I quote, to promote regional peace and accelerate economic, social, and cultural progress. And that core ideal of ASEAN remains today. The Philippines' early diplomacy contributed very much to ASEAN's consensus-based and legally light ASEAN way decision-making, which continues to decide how ASEAN works today. Under President Marcos's leadership, he has consistently upheld and promoted, of course, Philippine interests in ASEAN, underscoring the Philippine sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction in accordance with international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS and the 2016 Arbitral Award. He has also supported cooperation to address cross-border crime. He has championed the protection of the rights of migrant workers and has also called for the peaceful resolution of regional conflicts. In the economic sphere, the president has also supported the call towards digital transformation and having a digital economy in ASEAN, and also enhancing economic integration through the upgrade of what we refer to as the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, or ATIGA. Addressing climate change has been important for the president, promoting the green and blue economy, and also accelerating energy transition and regional energy connectivity. Of course, the president will continue to advocate what the Philippines and what he has championed in recent years. Very important for the president is calling for deepening security cooperation and also enhancing regional stability. And also in deepening security cooperation, there's very much recognition that we need to address, both existing and emerging threats. And also, of course, the president wants to broaden engagement with our ASEAN partners and also our dialogue partners. Now, on emerging threats, in fact, maybe it's no longer emerging, but it really is a threat, then there's addressing climate change, which is very important for the Philippines, as one of the countries that are most adversely affected by the effects of climate change. And also as the country that hosts the board of the Loss and Damage Fund. So that's important. The Philippines will advance its national priorities on climate change and its commitment to regional peace, security, and priority. What's very important for the Philippines is, of course, maritime cooperation. So the Philippines will call for the intensified negotiations towards the conclusion of a code of conduct on the South China Sea that is effective and substantive. And this is also in keeping with the commitment of ASEAN to finish the COC by 2026 or during our chairship. So that's very important. From climate change to the COC and South China Sea, the very important also is inclusive and sustainable development. We will also champion an open and inclusive rules-based international order. The Philippines and Malaysia have robust relations based on mutual respect and strong cooperation in trade, security, and people-to-people ties. We remain guided by the close relations between our President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. We remain committed to the building on the momentum of the 60th anniversary of the bilateral relations, which we celebrated last year. A highlight of that commemoration of the 60th anniversary was the convening of the Philippines-Malaysia Joint Commission meeting, or JCM. And this is the highest institutional mechanism that reviews our bilateral relations, looking at how to strengthen existing cooperation, for instance in defense, law enforcement, education and health, and also exploring new or potential areas of cooperation. And for this, for instance, this would include agriculture and food security, cooperation in halal, and also in Islamic finance. The convening of the JCM, of course, this follows the exchange of visits between the President and the Prime Minister. As you know, the President visited KL, Kuala Lumpur, in July 2023, and Prime Minister Anwar visited Manila in March of 2023. On economic relations, last year, Malaysia was our 9th largest trading partner, being also the 11th largest export market and the 7th largest source of imports for us. Malaysia was also the 5th highest source of FDI, or foreign direct investments. And in terms of tourism arrivals, Malaysia was the 10th largest source of tourism arrivals. So you can see here the very strong, economic and relations and people-to-people ties between our countries. In ASEAN, of course, as co-founding members of ASEAN, we work closely together on ASEAN priorities and initiatives, including maintaining regional unity. So we see a very vibrant, very dynamic relationship, and I am certain that with the summit, there will of course be deep engagement between the President and Prime Minister Anwar. The Filipino community in Malaysia, malaki po. The Filipino community in Malaysia is large and vibrant and multifaceted. We have many here in Kuala Lumpur and in the urban areas. And per the latest data of our Migrant Workers Office, there are 155,000 Filipinos registered with MWO, most of whom are in the household service sector. But we also have quite a number in the professional, semi-skilled, and service industries. Filipinos contribute a lot to both the Philippine and Malaysian economy. And if you look at it in terms of remittances, last year, per the figures of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Filipino migrant workers from Malaysia contributed $661.8 million. So quite a substantive sum, and I think that helps our economy a lot. The Philippines is very supportive of Malaysia's chairship, and we work very closely with them in addressing Malaysia's priorities as chair and also ASEAN's initiatives. And this close collaboration between the Philippines and Malaysia is very important because, as you said, the Philippines takes over and assumes chairship of ASEAN next year. So it's very important that we build on the initiatives of Malaysia, and we're also able to articulate and be able to have new initiatives, all for the good of ASEAN.